welcome to a cozy fall reading vlog. Although we may have to scratch the cozy because I'm in the midst of moving right now, so we can call this a chaotic fall reading vlog. In this video, I'm going to be reading 3 different books that fit the fall vibes. I'm going to be giving you all my thoughts, feelings, reviews, ratings. First, we have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Then we have Business Casual by B.K. Borison. And then lastly, we have Dreadful by Caitlin Rosakis. This one is a fantasy. I believe it's more of a comedic fantasy, which is going to be super interesting because I haven't read a funny fantasy before. Business Casual is a contemporary romance, and this is completing a series for me. It's just set in the fall time, and it's just a super cute small town romance type of read. And then Truly Devious is a young adult mystery novel. I will be reading this one first. So this one follows our main character, Stevie Bell. She's going to a private school called Ellingham Academy in Vermont. In 1936, there was a crime that took place. The founder of the school, Albert Ellingham, his wife and daughter get kidnapped by someone, and that crime was never solved. Now in the present time, we have Stevie, who is a crime aficionado. She loves crime, different cases and whatnot. So now that Stevie is accepted into this academy, she wants to get a little deeper insight on if she can solve this mystery that happened years ago. And this is probably gonna get really twisty because as Stevie is trying to solve this case that happened years ago, Truly Devious is this little riddle thing that pops back up in the present time when Stevie is at the school and something else is happening. So now I feel like she's going to be solving 2 crimes at once, and I'm sure they're possibly connected in some ways. So I'm excited to see how they're connected, what happens, and if she can figure it out or not. This is the first book in a series. I believe there's 5 books out right now, but apparently there's going to be 6 or 7 in total. I just feel like this one fits such fall vibes, especially because it's an academy setting. I love that for the fall. So this will be our first read. We're going to get into this, and I will see how far I get through it today, and I will give you some updates along the way, see how I'm feeling. Yesterday I got to page 237. I'm on chapter 17. We're over halfway through now, and honestly I didn't really need to update before this point because the last few chapters I read were where the major things started happening. Up to that point I didn't really feel like we were getting too many mystery feelings. We were just being introduced to a lot of the characters and seeing how those characters tied in with our main character. I believe that's probably because this is a series. I'm not entirely sure if the series, like if the next book will kick off as soon as this one ends. So I'm not entirely sure how the series is laid out, and I would kind of say that this was a slow read up until about the 200 page mark, not in the sense that it was hard to get into, but slow in the fact that it was taking a while to get to any mystery elements. There's just a bit of background stuff. It wasn't anything boring. It didn't put me off from the book. We just haven't really got anything too exciting or mysterious until 2 chapters ago. And I would say for the first half of this book, we were pretty much just getting a YA Academy setting novel, and it didn't seem like a mystery novel yet, but now we are getting into a crazy moment where it's going to kick off from here on out, and I think that we're really going to dive deep into the mystery and everything is going to start trickling in. And that's honestly really all I have to say. I don't have too much. I don't have too many feelings about this just because it is just a setup, I feel like, and we just got into craziness. So I think from this point on I will have more to say, but I'm going to continue to read this. I'm going to try to finish this right now before I have to go work on the new house and start painting. I have less than 200 pages left. We'll see how long it takes me. It's a very fast read. Let's continue, and I will update you when I'm further in, or you guys will see some of my reactions, and then I will come back with my wrap up. There's a student who has kind of been pretty sketchy from this point on. There's a lot of sentences that say like, oh, he's staring at me weird or whatever. As much as I can say without spoiling anything, the crime that takes place in the present day is that one of the students has died and they don't know what happened. He was like found down in a tunnel that was closed off years ago. Obviously, like as you read a mystery, you're trying to figure out who it is, or you kind of get ideas, and since this one person has a lot of sketchy things written about him, you're kind of suspecting him, but then I feel like that's always the case with mysteries where you're suspecting someone and then they're not the person at all. Stevie's parents heard the news of what had happened in the school, so they're like, oh, we're coming to get you. You're not going to be at the school anymore. And now she's telling her friends that she doesn't think she's going to be there much longer. They're like, oh, are you getting kicked out? And she's like, no, they're not kicking me out. My parents are coming to get me. The sketchy dude, he's like, oh, they won't kick anybody out. Trust me, I've tried. What do you mean? Why are you trying to get kicked out? I don't know what he's up to, but we'll see. complete. The main thing I will say is that I kind of don't feel satisfied with the mystery and how it all played out. We have the double mystery where back in time we had Ellingham's wife and daughter, they got kidnapped. And in present day we are getting this student that had been murdered or they died accidentally, and we are trying to figure out who did that. Like I said, it was kind of slow to get into the actual mystery portion with the present day. We didn't get that until around the 200-page mark. And then throughout the book we were getting flashbacks from the 1936 crime. That was okay. I wasn't really interested in that mystery at all because there wasn't too much on it in this one. It didn't really tie into the mystery that happened present day, which I thought it would. I'm sure it'll come up later in the series, but I'm not entirely sure. I did really enjoy this though. It was very fun, just a nice mystery read. If you're not into mystery and you want to get into mystery, then I would suggest this probably because it's a nice entryway into the genre. I would recommend it definitely. I'm excited to continue the series. I don't know what book 2 is about, but hopefully it's just as good. Hopefully there's more mystery in that book. But yeah, I'd probably give this like a 3.25 or a 3.5. So now that book 1 is complete, we're moving on to book 2, which is going to be Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is our contemporary small town romance read. And in this one, we are following our main character, Nova, and she is opening a tattoo studio, which I'm so down for. That sounds so exciting. Then we have our male main character, who is Charlie, and he is a banker, investor, whatever. So he's going to help Nova open up her tattoo studio and do all the financial stuff and whatnot. They have an attraction to each other when they start working together. They do their little one-night stand, and they can't stay away from each other. They only expected it to last one night, but they are attracted to each other and they want to keep going back. It's set in the fall. This is the fall book in this series. I don't think there's much else to it other than the fact that they're helping each other with this business. It's just going to come down to whether or not I like the characters, and for me, I think there needs to be a good mix of plot and romance. If I get that, I'm going to enjoy this book. I'm going to start this later today. I will come back maybe tomorrow with an update. We'll see how much I get into this tonight. You guys are propped up with my knees right now, so if you fall, I'm so sorry. But, I love Charlie. I have 66 pages into this book. It's already my favorite series. I can't. It's so good. Hello. Okay, let's talk this book. It's been a couple days since I updated or since you saw me writing in bed with those little updates, but I can finally sit down and talk about this. I've just been busy with working on the new house and whatnot, so I haven't had too much time to read. Hopefully I can finish it today or early tomorrow because I just want to get through this. As of right now, I am on page 176, chapter 16, so we're a little over halfway through. It is moving really fast. I'm enjoying this a lot so far. I think it's going to be my favorite out of the series, and since it's been a couple days, I don't really remember what I even said when I was laying in bed. I think I was just raving about Charlie. I'm still raving about Charlie. He's just so sweet. He's funny. He's kind of sarcastic, and he just has that humor that I really love. He knows how to flirt in a good way, and I'm really enjoying him so far. I have notes written down on my phone that I wanted to update you guys on, and it's funny because this section on the top is truly devious. Stuff I wrote down for that book when I was reading it. Those are my thoughts on the whole entire book. All of this for Business Casual is literally, I wrote that within the first 100 pages of this book. But this starts out with the couple that we read about in the first book. They're getting married in this one. It was such a nice setting to see everybody come together. I really love the characters in this series. They're very close. They know each other in this small town, and it's just super sweet. Charlie, he is at this wedding because never mind. I don't want to say that because it's a spoiler for the first book. But Charlie is at this wedding because he is meant to be there. He's not from Inglewild, which is the name of the small town. He's from New York. He works there, but he does come to Inglewild quite often to visit and spend some time here. That's how Nova and him have this little connection with each other. The people getting married in this one are being sent off on a honeymoon, so then Charlie is kind of taking over the farm and he's running it for about a month until they get back. So that is how he is going to be in Inglewild for the time that it needs to take for him and Nova to grow this relationship with each other. At this wedding, they have their little moment and Nova's like, come back to my house. She's hinting at it. She doesn't straight up say it because you know how girls are, and he doesn't get it at first because she's like a little drunk and he doesn't want to take advantage of that, or he doesn't want her to not be sure about it. He's totally down for it. She's obviously down for it, but it just didn't work out in that moment. She ends up losing her phone at this wedding. Charlie is of course the one to find it. He's going through someone else trying to get it back to her. So this other guy calls her on her sister's phone or her friend's phone, and he's like, hey, so do you want Charlie to drop it off at your house today, or do you want to wait a day and he can drop it off at the bakery tomorrow? And she's like, I don't want him coming over to my house. He can drop it off at the bakery tomorrow. Like, I can go a day without my phone. Made me sad because I just wanted them to have their moment already. I'm not usually a fan of things happening right at the beginning, but this one, I just love their connection and their tension so much that I just wanted them to get together as fast as possible. And that didn't happen, so I kept getting pushed back. It just made the tension stronger, and that's what I really liked. So I'm glad it's been going that way, but I also just really wanted them to be together. And then another thing I want to mention that I really like, it's just a little tidbit, but I mentioned this before. Nova's story in this book is she's opening a tattoo studio in this city. So like I said, the city is called Inglewild, and her tattoo studio name is the most perfect thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. It's called Ink and Wild, which is like a play on words for the small town name, but it's also ink because of tattoos and wild because she has a whole bunch of greenery in there and stuff. And I just think it's so perfect and I love it so much. I want to be in the shop in real life. I love that. I love it so much. It works so well. I think that's all the updates I have on this for now. I think this is definitely going to be my favorite out of the whole entire series, depending on how the end goes. If there's a third act breakup and it's something that I don't like, then it'll probably drop down a lot. Will say the only thing that I don't like about this book right now is the nickname that Charlie has for Nova. He calls her Nova Girl, which isn't bad. It's so easy for a nickname to set me off when I'm reading a book, and especially if it's said a lot. Like, he called her it once for the first time and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then he just kept saying that, and then it easily just, I hated it. I have less than 200 pages left to go. I'm gonna try to finish this right now and then come back with my thoughts. I'm hoping nothing bad happens. I know that there's gonna be a conflict, but I hope it's not anything too intense or too annoying. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Do you ever, when you're reading a book, you read something that is really annoying in the book and with the character, but you know that you would do it in real life? For example, in this one, and with a lot of romances and the miscommunication thing, it's so frustrating to read about and I hate it. Like, she's not admitting feelings. They're both not admitting feelings to each other, and you know that they have them. And the whole time you're reading, you're just like, why are you not telling each other you like each other? And it's so frustrating. But I know that I would do that in real life because you have the fear of rejection, or you think that it's not the right time or whatever. Like, am I annoying? I don't know. I read a lot about the miscommunication trope. And a lot of times it's not major. Like, this one I don't think is too bad just because of how they are feeling and how they've been with each other in the past with being friends and everything is so sudden with them. But it's still frustrating, and not even with romance type stuff, but there's also some stuff in books where you just want the characters to admit things and talk about it and not hold themselves back. And I don't know why it's so frustrating to read about in books, but in real life it makes sense for people to be that way because you're very vulnerable in that position and it is very hard to put yourself out there. Like, when I'm reading a book, do I want it to be perfect? And is that why it's annoying me? I can't figure it out. So I'm wondering if anybody else does that. But I know for a fact that I would not admit my feelings as soon as I have them. I don't know why it annoys me so much, because I understand it when it happens in real life to real people, but when it happens in a book to characters, I just cannot for the life of me understand why they don't just say things. It's so confusing. I cannot with this man. They're in public, so they don't want to have anybody knowing, whatever. So they're trying to go back to her house, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll help you with the thermostat. And she's like, what thermostat? He's like, the one that's broken. Then she's still confused, and he's like, I'm trying to have a good reason to go back to your house. Like, he's funny. And sometimes they clash in the way that their humor works. Like, him saying this right now, she's not understanding it, but then she'll say something that seems like their humor is the same. So I don't know why she's not understanding this. They're both not the brightest when it comes to taking hints. They're still cute. We are almost done. I'm on chapter 24, page 280. I have about 70 some pages left. And there hasn't been anything too bad. They still have a little bit of miscommunication just because they're scared to talk to each other about how they're feeling. They did put themselves into a difficult situation. It's very understandable for them to have that miscommunication and that fear of opening up and truly admitting things. But I think they're doing okay. I don't think it's too annoying or too bad. This is so cute. Sorry. We're at the point where Charlie has to go back to New York, so now they're just texting, and there's just pages of their text conversations. I love them so much. I love when one of the main characters in a book has a terrible parent, and then they finally just get back at them and let it all out. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, and I'm so proud of them. And then the parent's in disbelief that their kid is saying that to them. You deserve it. They have such a cute found family. Every single character in this little town, I love it so much. It's so precious. Oh wait, oh no. Wait, that was such a sweet ending. I got worried for a second there. He wanted her name tattooed on him. And I don't like that. I just went through so many emotions. This was really, really sweet. I really enjoyed this. It's definitely my favorite out of the series. I really like them two as characters. I think the second book, In the Weeds, I like their relationship more, but I like this whole book better. I think the only thing with this though is that the writing was a little bit weird to me in some areas. A lot of the similes that were used were kind of cringy and it didn't work with me. And then like I mentioned before, the overusage of the nickname always will bring it down for me. All in all, just a really sweet small town romance read. I definitely recommend this series. Some of the books are just all right. The second one and this one I do really enjoy. They're definitely not 5-star reads. I don't see myself truly thinking back on them or having them really settle in with me. I still really enjoy them as I'm reading them, and I think they're perfect romance reads if you're just looking for something super quick and fun and lighthearted. I'd probably give this one like a 4.25 stars. I for sure recommend reading them in the order though. So read Love Light Farms first, and then In the Weeds, and then Mixed Signals, and then Business Casual. So that'll be our second book of the vlog. Now we're gonna move on to our third book. I'm probably not gonna start it today because I have a concert to go to tonight. I want to finish it before the end of the month. It's currently October 28th right now. It's perfect because I'm reading Dreadful by Caitlin Rosakis. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet. I've seen a lot of people get this in their book hauls over the past few months, but I haven't seen any reviews on it and videos. All I know about this is that there's an evil wizard's workshop, and then this person wakes up and he has no idea what's going on. He has no idea what happened, but that person ends up actually being the evil wizard. So he's in his own place, and he has like a princess or something locked in this cell. Yeah, he has a princess locked in a cell, and he can't figure out why he locked her in there or what he did to just cause chaos in his workshop. We're just gonna figure out why he's doing that or what he's up to and just get to know him, I guess. I will get into this starting tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know once I'm a little ways in how I'm feeling about it, what more of the concept of this story is. We'll have our first chat. As for now, I'm gonna go for the day and get ready to do things that I need to do, but I will catch you when I have an update on Dreadful. Okay guys, I have come to be the bearer of bad news, unfortunately. I did not like this book. As you can tell, probably because I didn't update at all as I was reading through it. What we get from the back of the book is that we have this dude that wakes up. He has no idea who he is or where he is. He lost all of his memories, and then he looks in the mirror and realizes that he is this evil wizard. A lot of times when I go into a book and I read the back, I expect what I get from the back of the book to take up more than what it does. I've read a couple books where within the first few pages of the first few chapters, everything on the back of the book has been already said, and then you kind of don't really know what you're getting into the rest of the book. And that was the case with this one. I thought that it was going to take him a while to figure out who he was and where he was and what his whole past was like, but literally I think it was page 3, or it was very early on, he realized who he was. From that point on, I was like, okay, we're gonna get his past, and we're gonna get him slowly remembering things from his past and how he is the way he is and why he's evil, and we never got that. There is a message in the story that you can change your life and you can be a good person. The message is there and it is ideal, but I just didn't like the execution of this book. It didn't really give us any other elements to where I was interested in this at all. I didn't feel connected in any way. I didn't feel connected to a single character, and it was supposed to be a comedic fantasy. I didn't even crack a smile. It was full of little goblins. They were cute and they had their moments with our main character, and I liked the progression with the goblins and our main character and how he connected with them and how he became a good person after he lost all of his memories, but we never got to know his past self. We know that he was an evil wizard and we know that he was doing bad things, but we never got any more explanation on that, so it was hard to really understand his growth and his progress as a person. This is definitely more of a cozy fantasy. I think if you go into it with that sense, you may be interested in it a little bit more, but for me, I just wasn't at all. And even after I realized, okay, we're just getting a cozy fantasy vibe and we're not getting a crazy plot and a lot of action happening in this, I still didn't care for it. Unfortunately, not for me. I do think there is a reader for this out there. There's a lot of people that have rated this 5 stars, but I personally wouldn't recommend this for my viewers and my channel just because of what my taste in books are. That was the last book for this reading vlog. Now I'm just gonna do a recap. I feel good because I got all 3 books off my fall TBR. So first we read Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I enjoyed this book. I think it was a great book to start off a series. I did rate it 3 stars because I wasn't completely obsessed with it. I would still recommend this. I think the series is gonna get better as it goes, and I'm excited to get into the rest of the series. And then we had Business Casual by BK Borison. This completed a series for me, which was nice. I'm in the middle of so many series and it's getting a little stressful. I gave this one a 4.25. I really enjoyed this one. I liked our characters a lot. They were very funny. I liked their humor and I liked their connection with each other. I think all the decisions they made with each other fit their characters very well and it fit their relationship very well, and I love to see them grow. I loved how this wrapped up, especially with the romance itself and the whole farm aspect in the small town. And that is that. That is my fall reading vlog for the year. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for hanging out with me while I read all these books, and thanks for sticking around while I share my thoughts. If you want to see more videos from me, feel free to subscribe, comment, like, whatever you need to do. I will see you in my next video, whatever that may be. I hope you have a great day or a great night wherever you are. I will see you later. Bye.